Good morning, Barbara. Here is your tutorial about how to find some further records for your family. Now, according to the research that I saw, Václav was the son of Maciej, and Maciej was the son of Jan, and that was as far as the researcher had carried it. I am going to show you how you can find 10 siblings of Maciej. And this is a very classical example of how to do it. Okay, your records are in the Prague archives. The website for that is edatlna.soapraha.cz. Of course, once you go into it, it should come up on your history, or you could make a bookmark for it, etc. Looking back at my notes. Okay, first of all, you can choose your language over here. It remembers it, so mine comes up English. Search. We're going to do by provenance type. And we know that we are not Roman Catholics here. We're evangelicals. And the church that they went to was Velim. If I hit the letter V, I'll get down to those, and then I can just cursor through and hit enter. I've got the correct one in there. Click search, and I will come up with the list of books. Now, we've already discussed the fact that many of them are not digitized. The ones with zeros are not digitized. Here is the book where Maciej would have been recorded, but here's the book where his siblings are. So I just click on it. From the codes up here, we can see that it includes births from 1794 to 1821, so roughly 25, 30 years. It also has BI, which is index. Now usually, and it remembers where I last was, usually the index is at the back of the book, but in your case, the index is at the front, and the letter P happens to be on 22. I'm going to enlarge it to about 9,500%. Now, one of the things that you said in your Facebook posting was the name of the village, and it was GLU with an umlaut over it. That gives you a clue that that's a German name. Be that as it may, this index is really nice because it includes the name of the village. Ooh, there it is. And the house number. Ooh, 11. There it is. So the next oldest sibling, the youngest of the batch of 10, is on page 163, and she is birth 86 of the year. Really, you could not ask for any better data. We only have 198 pages, and some of them are indexed at the back, so I would suggest that we bring up a second copy of this book. And we're simply going to go to the last page, which is going to be a duplicate of the cover sheet. See, there's 198. I can click on it. It's frequently easier to work backwards in these books, especially when you're scanning them, trying to see what they have. Let's see how many pages we actually have in this book. I can't really tell. Ah, here we go. Ooh, look at that. It looks like a mere 167. So we needed to be on page 163, I'm sorry. So that's minus 4, that would be 192. And we said she was birth number 86 and in house 11. So we have all of these things to help us find the record. Now, I can specify a couple of things. So I don't have to zoom all the time. I can click down here to keep the zoom and to keep the position, and hopefully when I go to the next page it always opens up there. And sure enough, look, here we are, birth 86. Here's the name that starts with the G, house 11, Elizabeth. And there's her dad, Jan. And here it says the mother is Anna, daughter of the deceased Jan, and you already have this name in your research. But it also says something about the mother's name, which I believe would be new data. It says that they are Helvetian Christians, which is the Protestant religion they belong to, etc. Okay, if we go back to the index, the next one is, if you just scan through looking for the number 11, okay, that's not your village. Oh, but this one is. So that is on page 143, which is actually, back to the other tab here, 172. And we're going to see that the mother information isn't as complete as the one that I just showed you. Oh, it didn't keep the zoom in the position. How come? Interesting. There she is, Anna. This time it doesn't have as much mother information. See that? So, while some people say, I just don't want to pay any attention to the siblings, I want to do my line backwards, this is a perfect illustration of why you should search sideways, and even perhaps if you're lucky enough to find her marriage, then, and it's not in one of the, that book isn't published yet, so no, you won't be. But there might be more information there. Now, if we go back to the index, the next one is on page 130. Sure enough, there it is. The next one is going to be on page 118, which is on the previous one. Oh, I guess I said, does he keep zoom here? We'll see. I may have to do it for both of them. But right off, there's another one. That's on 111. I missed the one on 118. Here's another one. There are 10 altogether. The last one is on image or page 92. I did not find any before that. So that also helps narrow down the time of marriage for Jan and his wife. it would have to be before whatever this year is for page 92, which I didn't happen to write down in my cheat sheet here. Let's see if we can figure it out. So 92, 3 minus 2 is 1, 14 minus 9 is 5. So I have to subtract 51 from here. 121. Let's see if I got it. We're interested to see if the father of the mother is deceased. So, and there's also another reason I wanted to show you this one. Before, we were getting the page number here on the left. Now, unless you happen to know how to do Roman numerals, XCII is 92. Oh, let's go over here and use the other kind, Arabic numerals. And so, yes, we did end up on the right page. And there's house 11, but it's the wrong village. There's house 11, it's the right village. And we see that her father was deceased. What year is this? 1809. Now, you will need to look up the Czech months in somewhere. Prosonets. Oh, I believe that's December. By a process of deduction, you can say, okay, here's 1810. Yeah, this would be the last month. That must be December. Ledna is January. February is Unora. Be sure to accent the first syllables as you learn to pronounce the words. Ooh, we had a lot of January births. So here's Unora, which is February. June is Cheravan or Seravan? I think it's Cheravan. And July is Cheravanets. So you'll need to distinguish between those 2 months since they're nearly spelled the same. But it gets pretty obvious when you see them back to back, and you'll find that in one of your cases. So hopefully, well, I really ought to explain how this is laid out a bit. Here's the date. Rok is year. Here is the number of the baptism, number of birth. Here's Miesic is the month. And here's 17th is the birth. This is the christening. And you know what? Remember how I said that the name that's with the GLU is really Klipets? Look, it started out as a K before it morphed into the G. So you can almost study the spelling of the name. Here's house 16. Imiano Djetja, name of the child. Blah, blah, blah. Klipets is boy, and by default, then that's girl, whatever it says. And then this is whether they're legitimate or illegitimate. Again, ROD has to do with family wherever you see it, so it's RODI. Here's Otets is father, Mater. They used Latin for mother, Czech for father. Interesting. And then these are the sponsors, the name of the sponsors. And Stav is their occupation and where they lived. I don't collect this information myself, but others do. So, there you are. Hopefully you can get started with recording this data. I hope you have a database, some tree software of some sort that you can record this information and then share it with your cousin who has also been doing research. Bye.